Welcome to my kitchen. Nice sunny day outside, but temperature's still a little chilly. So I'm inside working on this. This is my newest project, fresh from eBay. It's a Epiphone Les Paul 1956 model, gold top. Has the P90 soap bar pickups, trapezoid inlays. This 56 gold top right there on the truss rod cover. And it's in really nice shape. Not a mark on it. Plays really well. But it's got some pretty nasty strings on it. I don't know if you can pick it up in the video, but some of them strings are kind of bad. Plus we got a wild hair hanging up here. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to change these out, adjust the action, adjust the intonation, as well as take care of any problems there might be with the nut. As far as, I like to use 11 gauge strings, and most of these guitars come with 9s or 10s on them, so I may have to open these slots up a little bit. I'm going to show you how to do all that. Alright, the first thing to do is to get these old strings off, which, as everybody knows, is pretty much a matter of you just unwind the tuner and you can take the string off. But I like to do things a little faster than that. Now, we're not saving these for posterity. Let's cut that sucker on off of here. Get it out of the way. Now, some guys will tell you, oh, don't take all the strings off at one time. Oh, you leave them on there. Oh, bull. I've had guitars completely apart, all the strings off of them. It doesn't bother them at all. So just go to town, get these things off of here. The one thing you do want to pay attention to on a Gibson style guitar is the tailpiece. This right here, that will fall off. And the bridge will fall off too. So make sure when you get down to your last string, you get your hand on this sucker so it doesn't come falling off. And don't pick the guitar up and turn it upside down, or that'll come popping off too. Alright, I got all the strings off, which now's a good time to, clean the dust off it. And here, I'll show you what I was talking about. This bridge lifts right off of there. It's not held on by anything but the strings. So don't let it fall off. If you do take it off, remember what direction it was on there. On most of your Gibsons, these adjusting screws are facing towards the pickups. So take that off and set it aside. And this stop bar tailpiece slides out the back. So keep that out of the way. Don't touch any of these adjustments if you're already happy with the way the guitar is set up. You turn any of those, you'll change your bridge setting. Then you'll have to adjust everything all over again. Now it's time for the new strings. Strings I like to use are D'Addario EXL 115s. They have the 11 for your first string. However, they end with a 49, and since I'm a little heavy-handed on the pick, I substitute that 49 for a 56. Some people think it's a little heavy, but hey, when I strum, I nail these things, and I'll knock a 49 right out of whack. It'll go boom as soon as I hit it. And one of the problems that occurs with a lot of guitars is the strings, when you go to a bigger gauge from what the factory put on here, they get stuck in the nut. When you tune the string, you'll hear the string going nee, 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 and all of a sudden it'll go ting, it'll be a higher pitch. That's because it just popped through the nut. Now, some guys will go out and spend money on fancy files, but I found if you take the string itself and go like this in the nut, now don't get too crazy with it, but you will eventually widen that groove out a little bit. You don't want to go too nuts because you don't want to cut it down further. You'll end up getting it down so far that your string will be laying on this fret, and then that'll be no good. You'll have to pay a luthier to make you a whole new nut. So just kind of go like this until it feels like the string moves nice and easy through there. Another thing I like to do is turn the tuners so that the holes where the string goes are pretty much either facing the neck or on about that same angle. I mean, if the hole's over here or it's over here, you'll have a hard time getting the string in. It just makes it a little easier. So let me turn these so they're all facing about the same way. Okay, now when you put your string on, I'll show you a little trick. I'm trying to hold the camera and do this one-handed here. It's not easy. Let me see what I can do with this. Hang on a minute. Alright, now here's what you want to do. I try to have some slack in the string because you've got to have enough string to wrap around the tuning machine. So, about that much is usually pretty good. Now, what you want to do see if I can get this up where you see it. What you want to do is you want to take this string, come around this tuning post, okay? Put this under the other part of the string. Now pull it over, almost like you're tying a knot. So that way when you tune this up, what you'll see is it's going to lock onto that string. It's going to hold it in place. So when you tune this up, that string is held in there. Now let me see if I can get you a nice shot of what this looks like here. Right there you can see the string. What you see in the middle here is the string going into the hole, comes out the other side, winds around here, goes underneath, and it's pulled like it's tying a knot. So now when the string is pulled up against this part here, it can't slip. That's where you run into a lot of tuning problems, is with the strings slipping at the tuners. So this locks them in, they can't slip. That and little modifications I was showing you to do on the nut here should help to keep the guitar in tune a lot better than the way they were set up at the factory. Okay, now here's another little tip. As the string comes around, you see this first little wind where it's at? Make sure that you push the rest of that string under that. If it starts winding above it, you run a chance of the string not sitting in the nut right. You want to hold it down as tight to the head as you can. Especially on a Fender guitar. It's not as important on a Gibson style, but on a Fender it's real important to make sure that those winds are underneath of that other one. Just like that. Alright, now as you can see I got all the strings on. I haven't tuned it up yet, but I wanted to mention this. Some of you guys like all these wild hairs hanging up here. If you're fine with that, go ahead and leave them there. Otherwise, what I like to do is wait till I got the guitar tuned up, and then I'll push down on these windings to make sure that they're all bunched together. You might actually find the guitar goes out of tune again. When you got it to where it stays in tune, pull up on these, pull straight up on them. You'll hear it go out of tune again. When you've got it to where nothing you do up here changes the tune of your string, cut these suckers off.